The number of years that a person has trained in a martial art reflects very poorly on their actual skill level. And this is due to at least two reasons. I'm going to address the what I think is the obvious reason and also the slightly less obvious reason. So the obvious reason that years trained doesn't matter is people learn at different speeds. So some people can just see something once or twice and they'll pick up on it. And some people are just more mindful in their training, so they can catch these little details a lot quicker than other people. So in that case, they're learning faster, they're more alert, and they pick up on it. So that's the obvious reason. Now the less obvious reason that the number of years trained doesn't matter is it's not a level playing field in terms of the actual time that someone has trained. So if you ask someone how old they are and one person says they're 20 and another says they're 30, well, obviously the 30-year-old is 10 years older. And it's a level playing field because every person alive lives 24 hours a day. So yes, that's equal. With martial arts, it's not quite the same thing. So if one person said they trained 10 years, another person said they trained 10 years, you have no idea how much they've actually trained. You could have someone who has trained 1 hour a week for those 10 years. You could have another person who's trained 20 hours a week for those 10 years. Or somebody could have been away for 2 of the years. And they still might say, oh, I've trained for 10 years, even though they had those 2 years off. So it's really not equivalent in that way at all. And so a lot of times martial artists, when they're speaking to each other to try to get a sense of their experience or skill level, is they'll ask how many years someone's trained. And the reason they do that is because they want to be polite. They don't want to just be like, oh, what rank are you? That's considered a bit rude, so as an alternative, they try to get a feel for it with years trained, but unfortunately that's a highly inaccurate way to look at it. But so is asking someone for your rank if you were rude like that. But we all know the real way to kind of know someone's skill level is to work with them or see them. That's the only way that someone's skills will really shine through, and it may not be reflected in their rank, and they could have taken a variety of years to reach that skill level, although the higher you go, the more time you really need to have put in. So if somebody tells me they've trained for like 50 years, they've probably caught on to something, even if they've only trained a few hours a week. But anyway, that's just kind of why generally number of years someone's trained is a very bad kind of way to feel out what their skill level is. You really got to just work with them. It might give you a slight insight into it, but it's potentially highly inaccurate.